All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh along with Chris Mueller. And Chris, one of the big topics out at camp today, I was out there all day. I've been out there both days here now. And Deontay Johnson's there. He's not holding out, but he's kind of, holding in almost like T.J. Watt did last year. But look, make no mistake about it. This is totally different. They were signing Watt. I don't know if they're signing this guy. I can't compare them both. And you heard Tomlin say today the team didn't really sign off on it. So I don't blame Johnson in a way for doing this. He doesn't want to get hurt. I get it because he's in line for a big contract, but I think he's in line for a big contract somewhere else.
I would agree with you that his likelihood of getting paid on multiple years and on a competitive market rate based on what some wide receivers are getting is not going to happen here. It's highly unlikely. I thought the whole thing was strange. I don't think he's wired to be like this ultra me-first guy. There's a callback to what Roethlisberger said. I think he has shown that he's willing to work on his game, Richie, to try to get better. So I don't really fault the guy. I never really fault any player for doing what they think is the best course of action. But I thought it was strange that he at first attributed it to a Mike Tomlin thing. Tomlin says, no, that's he and his people. I would say this to Deontay Johnson. You aren't T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt was a unique situation last year. That guy is what? The best at what he does coming off the edge in the league. I think he has no peer. Among defensive players overall, the only guys that really are going to get mentioned with him are Aaron Donald and maybe if you want to go secondary, like a Jalen Ramsey type of guy. So T.J. Watt can do that because he's an extraordinary player. Tomlin said it in his own words. Minkah Fitzpatrick kind of did a hold in or stayed away and didn't do much during the spring, but his deal was imminent, and he was always going to get a market-setting deal for a safety. What's Deontay Johnson realistically? Not trying to be a hater or anything else. As of right now in his career, he's probably a top 30-ish wide receiver in the NFL, 25 to 30 range. Those guys don't do hold-ins and get what they want, especially from teams that have shown over the years, that they aren't going to pay very many wide receivers big-time multi-year money unless that player is very special, like an Antonio Brown.
If Pickens is legit, do you try to trade him this year?
Try to trade Deontay Johnson?
Yeah.
Wait, if
you get anything,
if
Pickens is
legit,
do you try to trade Deontay Johnson? Do you even entertain it? Do you try it? Do you think about it?
No, I don't know. I mean, we had somebody call in today and say they should trade him right now to the Lions. No, I mean, what Deontay Johnson needs to do to try to maximize his value, where either the Steelers are willing to franchise him for what would be a very pretty penny given the way wide receiver salaries are going up, or that they actually reapproach the whole concept, he has to try to get on the field as soon as possible, develop a rapport with whoever's going to be the starting quarterback, and then be that guy's best friend. Because that's his best chance, Richie, to put up numbers. So I would expect, I would hope, I shouldn't say I expect, because I didn't expect him to do this today. Yeah. I would hope, though, that when the pads go on, and you know Mike Tomlin takes that much more seriously than what's going on right now with the great Gazoo helmets that people are seeing here, when the pads come on, I think Deontay Johnson needs to be out there, or then that's going to get on everybody's radar and not in a good way.
Yeah, let's get out to Kirk and Harmer. How you doing, Kirk?
Hey, Richie, what's up? Hi, Chris.
Hey, thanks for calling.
The irony of it all, guys. You know, they should have cut Rudolph. They only let him play during Christmas anyway, and they should have kept Dobbs. You know, Knucklehead's going to be suspended for a year, and then you're going to get an injury in training camp or in the preseason. Dobbs can end up starting against the Steelers and beating them. Oh, the irony of it all.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Do you?
No, I do not think Josh Dobbs is going to beat the Steelers. I think it's kind of surprising that they got what they got for him when they traded him. I think there was an intrigue factor in that particular case. Kirk said something there quickly, Richie. He said, oh, somebody else is going to get hurt too, and then Dobbs will end up starting, right? Well, that's the whole reason they're hanging on to Rudolph, is that they hope that whatever he does show in the preseason and everything else looks pretty good to another team, and then invariably a quarterback will get hurt, and a team will be desperate enough to maybe move a late-ish round pick, like a 6th round or maybe even a 5th round if the Steelers are lucky, and Rudolph looks good. That's how this little game is played.
Let's go out to Al in Bethel Park. How you doing, Al?
Hey, Richie, Chris, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you. Chris, I got a question for you. Here's my question. Since baseball won't do the best in baseball clause, can the fans, the city council, or the state file a class action suit against Bob Nutting and get rid of him? And because of, like, Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, ownership is doing what's right, and Nutting won't. Is that a possible scenario? Thanks, guys.
Hey, Chris, before you answer this, look, neither one of us are lawyers. Maybe we can call Bordas and Bordas or the
My sister's a lawyer.
Twins. Oh, well, maybe we can get her on the phone line. But didn't Peduto try to, like, investigate Nutting at some point a few years ago? Wasn't there talks of that? I mean, I don't know what can happen, but
there was
I mean,
something. No,
it's public interest.
Well, hold on.
So.
What I would caution people from saying here is that all those other teams are doing right by their fans, quote unquote. Like Milwaukee is. Milwaukee is an example, owned by a lawyer, I think, still a guy who made it, who by trade is a lawyer. But Milwaukee's kind of the close to gold standard as far as they've been very transparent about their plans when they've had to rebuild. They've told their fans. Then they've spent some real money. The Rays, come on, let's not lump the Rays in here as these exemplars of, from the business side, how we want teams to be run. The Rays are extraordinary at procuring talent despite the restrictions they impose on themselves, Richie, but they are by no means what I would call a model franchise in the way that Al was suggesting that they are. They just they happen to win almost in spite of themselves, not because of what they're doing on the business side that's so right by their fans and true to the spirit of baseball and trying to win. That's all I would say about them.
A couple years ago, I thought the Pirates should have taken the same approach as the New York Rangers, basically by releasing an email to all their fans, to their season ticket holders, the tweets, the social media, saying, hey, bear with us. We're going to tear this down, and we're going to build it back up, and we just hope you stick around for it. But we promise that we're going to be good and spend money and do this, this, and this. I wish they would have outlined that and have been completely transparent.
Yeah, I think people appreciate transparency in any sort of matter that's either public interest or, Richie, if you were at your job or I'm at my job and our immediate boss or even our boss's boss is unhappy with something that we do, right?
Yeah.
You would want, even if you wouldn't want to be in the doghouse or anything, you would want to know why. You would want them to just say, hey, you did this, we didn't like it, because then you can try to fix it in a workplace situation and scenario. In this kind of thing, yeah, I think fans appreciate transparency not only because it is for its own sake, but because it also, I think, creates sort of the mindset or the impression that there is a real plan being enacted. Because the other thing I don't think fan bases like is the feeling that whoever is in charge of trying to bring a team back to prominence is either doing things in secret or doesn't have a real clear-cut plan. And I think when you try to lay things out in so many words, you sort of ease the fears that that's what's going on.
Yeah, and I think that's what Pirates fans need right now. So, all right, well, we got to take a break. But before we go to break, we have our GMC tweet of the night tonight, Chris. And this is from our photographer, our sports photographer, Ian Smith. You know him. Great to be back for the first time since 2019. Steelers fans can watch their favorite players work out at St. Vincent and Latrobe. The stands are packed, and the energy is ramped up. And we have a ton of great video from Ian, and look at those great pictures, and it was a great day. Ian will be up there with me for the entire training camp until August 18th. All right, back in a couple minutes. Stay right there.